3D Mario is something that we don't get a new game of very often, with each game typically coming out years apart. But when a new one does finally come out, it's a huge deal. Each title is very different than the last, adding new gimmicks, whether it be Flood, Cappy, or even multiplayer. Then there's Super Mario Galaxy on the Wii, by far one of the best 3D Marios. This game was incredibly ambitious, introducing so much, from large open levels, motion controls, gravity physics, and a lot of worlds to choose from. It's a fantastic game, so much that it got a sequel, which is incredibly rare for 3D Marios to get, and the only ever 3D Mario game to get one so far was 3D Land with 3D World, but even then it wasn't really a direct sequel, I guess. I mean, it doesn't have 2 in the title, but I mean, come on, it's a sequel. But anyway, and with it being a very depressing and boring time of year, why don't we come back to this amazing title and lift our spirits? Talk about a great title screen. It's so full of energy and oddly cinematic. And right off the bat, I already have something to praise: the amount of files you get. You get 6 in total, when more often than not, the devs give you 2 or 3, maybe 4, and weirdly, I somehow only used up 3 files so far, even though I remember playing this game way more than that. I'm not sure why I would delete files when I had extra room, but hey, I wasn't exactly the brightest bulb as a kid, as you probably know from this channel. I mean, unless you're a new viewer, in which case, hi, welcome to the channel, please like the video, subscribe. But anyway, the opening is much more cinematic than your typical Mario game. I mean, just look at this beautiful artwork, not to mention the somber music. Every 100 years, a special comet passes by the Mushroom Kingdom. To mark its coming, there's a celebration, the Star Festival. And Peach invites Mario to spend it with her, as she has something to give him. Yeah, if people interpret baking a cake for him as something else, I can only imagine what they think this must mean. Also, you get a voice clip of her reading the letter, and am I the only one who likes her voice here?
Dear Mario, I'll be waiting for you at the castle on the night of the Star Festival. There's something I'd like to give you. From Peach.
This seems like Peach's voice in too many games is super high-pitched, and frankly annoying, so hearing her relaxed like this is a nice change. Mario then shows up to Castle Town, where all the Toads are happy to see him, and the sky throws down shooting stars. All is well, what a great night. Or at least it would be if you know who didn't have to ruin it again. Bowser lifts Peach's castle into the sky, and has seemingly gotten his hands on alien technology. Mario tries his best to hold on, yet Magic Koopa in all his high quality for the Wii cinematic graphics strikes Mario, knocking him off the castle. The more I think, the more I realize how similar this opening is to Paper Mario. I mean, you've got Bowser taking Peach's castle into the sky, Mario being beaten and falling, and Bowser's right-hand man being a magical Koopa. That aside, Mario wakes up on a strange planet with these star-shaped beings called Lumas. After playing a game of hide-and-seek with them, they lead you to their guardian, Rosalina. Well, nowadays, she's a pretty well-known Mario character. If you were to place yourself in the shoes of a person playing this in 07, it's kind of bizarre seeing a new human character in a main series Mario game. She sees the Lumas as her family, and together they live on her ship, the Comet Observatory. She and the Lumas travel around the universe, passing by Earth every 100 years. But while passing it this time, Bowser attacked. He took all their power stars, which act as fuel to the ship, leaving them helpless. Not only that, but Bowser now has the power to travel the universe. Once again, it's up to Mario to defeat Bowser, collect stars, and save Peach. Only this time, he has to do so in space. Along with Mario comes one of Rosalina's Lumas. While not as talkative as Flood or Cappy, they're just as useful, giving Mario the ability to spin. Spinning has a plethora of uses, from attacking enemies, breaking crystals, knocking things around, or, if used in the air, it basically acts as a double jump. It's extremely helpful when it comes to platforming, making tricky jumps so much easier. Plus, it's just really fun to use. To spin, shake the Wii remote. While I'm sure many wish it was activated by a button press, it does have its perks. If you've never played this game before, it's a little hard to describe, but this gives the game a much more fluid feel. I do know that in the Super Mario 3D All-Stars port, spinning can be assigned to X or Y, but I've never played it. So if anyone in the comments can tell me if they prefer a button press or a Wii remote shake, let me know. Anyway, a lot of old moves come back from Super Mario 64 or Sunshine, from the long jump, the triple jump, the wall jump, backward somersault, etc. Unfortunately, the slide did not, which is a shame because of how much I loved using it, although it wouldn't exactly work with this control scheme. Like many other Wii games, Galaxy has a pointer. While used quite a bit, it's not used all the time, like some other Wii games. It can be used to collect star bits, or interact with various mechanics like pull stars. Certain levels use the motion controls for special gimmicks, such as riding a manta ray or a glass ball. The levels that use them just suck frankly though, with just how hard it is to control them. The Comet Observatory, or as I'm going to call it from here, a ship because I have a hard time saying certain words, especially today, is the hub world. Similar to Peach's Castle, various entrances to levels can be found here, although it is a lot different. Instead of 15 or so super large and dense mega worlds, you get over 40 worlds of various size, called galaxies. Because with a title like that, why wouldn't they be? First are the standard galaxies, containing 3 main missions along with a few extra stars. Then are the boss galaxies, containing a chapter boss. And lastly are the mini galaxies, which usually only contain 1 star, and typically are the most gimmicky. The Galaxy games really did find a sweet spot between the single mission level formula of 2D Mario and sparse but content-packed levels of 64 and Sunshine. You play them just enough to have your fill, but not enough to feel tired of them. But I would not be doing this game justice if I were to simply say that all that makes it different are the way the levels are organized. No, because what makes these levels true galaxies are their design. You travel around countless planets throughout most missions. Some are large, some are small, some are round, others not. And coolest of all are the gravity mechanics. Small circular planets have their own special gravity, which allows the player to walk to the bottom without falling off. Bigger planets behave more like a traditional Mario game, not to mention all the weird areas of flipping gravity and stuff. It's quite impressive for a 2007 game on a frankly underpowered system. Long distance travel between planets is done by either pole stars or launch stars. Real fast, I have to say that some of these sequences after using a launch star are epic, especially the ones that have explosions. Like, the devs didn't have to add these. They don't serve much of a purpose except for to look cool, but they went above and beyond once again. Another difference between Rosalina's ship versus Peach's Castle or Delfino Plaza has to do with entrances. Not every point of entry is unique. Rather, you enter most galaxies in observation domes. There are quite a few, and even better, they're designed after various rooms in a house. Or mansion, I guess, because I think most of these people don't have in their house. But anyway, the terrace, the fountain, the kitchen, bedroom, engine room, and garden. While it wasn't necessary to make each unique, it's a really nice touch that adds a lot. Starting off, most of the ship's lights are off, but as the domes are unlocked, they come on, which makes clearing them that more satisfying. Each dome contains a few main galaxies, a few mini ones, and a boss stage. Speaking of world bosses, they follow a pattern. Odd ones are usually against a unique boss, while even ones are against Bowser. There's a short platforming section beforehand, you know the drill. Regular galaxies have their fair share of bosses as well, my favorite being Boulder Dash. Your health bar in this game is a lot less than 64 or Sunshine, only 3 pieces of health. To make up for it though, all attacks and damage only take away 1 piece of health. Plus, you can always find one of these near almost every boss. Life mushrooms. They increase your health bar to 6, until you either beat the level or get your health reduced back to 3. To be honest though, most of the time, with how easy this game is on its own, you won't need them. As a kid though, they were lifesavers. But man, it is easy sometimes to skip over them by accident. Be sure to smash every crit you see, just in case. Or in some stages, you can buy one from the Luma shop for Starbits. Speaking of that, Starbits are a kind of currency basically, as well as a candy that the Lumas love. Some Lumas love them so much in fact, that after eating them they sacrifice their lives to become planets or galaxies. And every time 50 are collected, you get a 1-up. Because of Starbits, coins aren't as useful, just restoring health. But collecting Starbits is super satisfying. You don't even have to touch them with Mario to collect them. All you have to do is touch them with the pointer and they come to you. If you die during a level, you still keep your Starbits. And it's also worth mentioning, since I haven't yet, that there are checkpoints in stages. It's just not like in Galaxy 2 where you have the flags that act as checkpoints. Here it's kind of like Mario 1, where there's certain checkpoints but you just can't see where the checkpoint is. Anyway, because of this, it's easy to rack up hundreds of Starbits in certain stages, and lives too. Unfortunately, Galaxy suffers from the same problem as Mario 64. If you quit, your life counter resets, making collecting lives almost meaningless. Sure, it helps for tough levels sometimes, but some of the harder stars don't have checkpoints, so having more lives don't help with them. Sunshine saved players' life counters after quitting, so I can't help but wonder why not here too. On the bright side, every time the player comes back after opening their save file, Male Toad gives them a letter from Peach containing 5 lives. And that brings me to one of my favorite additions to the Mario Galaxy games, the Toads. They escape from the Mushroom Kingdom to help Mario, although they vary in that field at times. The Lumas even build a spaceship for them, called the Star Shroom. The crew consists of 5 members. Firstly is the one I just mentioned, a pink toad, named Male Toad, who, like his name suggests, gives out letters. Then there's the yellow toad, who always sleeps and doesn't really contribute much. While Green Toad is a banker in Galaxy 2, here he has no special job, but still helps sometimes. Blue Toad is the smart one of the group, and gives the most good advice, plus he wears glasses, which as we all know makes people smarter. And lastly we have their leader, Captain Toad. While a captain is supposed to be, you know, a brave leader and all that, he's pretty cowardly. He often stays behind in the Star Shroom while his crew is in trouble. Despite that, he still sometimes helps find power stars, and overall is a pretty funny character, and one of my favorites. He's such a good character in fact, that he even got his own game, which is pretty good, and I might cover it someday. All in all, the Toads, even if they don't help all that much gameplay wise, add a lot of personality to the game, and it wouldn't be the same without them. Guess who else returns from the Mushroom Kingdom? That's right, Luigi, although his role is a bit more unflattering. Mario first has to save him in Ghostly Galaxy. From here, he helps collect power stars, except he always finds himself in trouble. Male Toad gives you a letter, which doesn't make much sense thinking about it now. Like, how does he send Mario a letter if he gets stuck somewhere? Anyway, the letter gives a clue to where he is, with a picture attached. Mario then has to go find him. When he does, Luigi gives him a star he found. A grand total of 3. That's right, 3 stars. Poor Luigi. I really feel that they did him dirty in this game. At least I would if it wasn't for something else. If the player collects all 120 of the main stars as Mario, they get the ultimate prize, Super Luigi Galaxy. Basically, you get to start a new save file and play the whole game only as Luigi. Luigi can jump a lot higher, but has terrible traction, which makes some stars way harder. Honestly, maybe it's just because my first impression of this game was Trick Conray's Let's Play, or he played as Luigi, but overall, I don't know, it feels more right to play as Luigi than Mario. It's weird, I know, and I would have played as him again if it wasn't for one problem. To get to play as him, you not only have to 100% the game, but you have to do so on a single file. So just because I unlocked him years ago when I was in middle school, I can't start a new file as him until I get all the stars again. Which is a bit annoying unless I copied a save file, but I was too dumb to have done that as a kid. I mean, there's 2 extra save files which I could have done. And in case you're wondering what happens during the Luigi's mission while you're playing as Luigi, well, Luigi is still there. Yes, apparently this is an alternate universe version of him or something. Heck, in my opinion, I say the Luigi we play as is the alternate universe version, and this non-playable one is the real Luigi, since Peach is still his love interest. Yeah, it's kind of weird, and it led to a whole bunch of theories that are most likely not true. I feel like Galaxy 2 did a way better job with him, handling his character better, and letting you switch between the two on a same save file. Now let's go through the power-ups. The Fire Flower is a classic, of course, only it works a bit differently. Instead of having it until you get hit, the player only keeps it for a short amount of time, kind of like a superstar. The Ice Flower freezes the water around you, allowing for wall jumps with waterfalls or to just walk on water. The Rainbow Star works like a Starman, just a little flashier. After that, there's the Bee Mushroom. With it, Mario can climb honeycombs, or hover in the air for a short burst. Kind of lame. Oh, and touching water takes it away. The Boo Mushroom at least lets the player hover forever, and pass through walls too. Touching light though is a no-no. Worst of all is the Spring Mushroom. This is more of a hindrance than a power-up. Holding A unleashes a super jump at the cost of making it extremely hard to move. Mario just keeps bouncing, and it's just so hard to do any precise movements. Thankfully, it's not used very often. Lastly is a power-up that many people forget about, mostly because it actually can't be used in many levels, the Red Star. This thing is like the wing cap, but better. Shake while in the air to fly. My question is, why would the devs put so much time into making this and then have it only be usable for one side mission and Rosalina's ship? It's such a shame. It would have been so much fun to use in Spacious Galaxies, but oh well. This game is beautiful, in both terms of graphics and music. So much of the soundtrack is a masterpiece, from the epic to the relaxing. For a Wii game, especially an early Wii game, these graphics are great. Sure, it's not HD, and some stuff is a little pixely. Despite that though, I think it's one of Nintendo's best looking games of all time. Sometimes, you just have to stare off into the sky and chill. This is such a stress relieving Nintendo title. I've played so many RPGs the past few years, which I love and all, but they're long, with a lot of text to read. This, along with the other 3D Marios, come in bite-sized missions, where just 15 minutes can be enough to finish a few missions. I had a lot of fun replaying this. I never felt that I was forcing myself to play. I would play a good half hour, get a lot done, then quit to come back later. With the exception of the Mother series and maybe Ocarina of Time, this is probably the most fun I've had playing a game this past year. Of course, it's not all perfect or fun. I mean, there are tons of annoying stars to get. All in all though, 100%ing Galaxy is way easier than I remember it. The last time I did so was when I was in middle school, in which I remember taking days of attempts to get some stars. But I just sucked as a kid, because ultimately while I did struggle with some missions, it never took me more than a few tries to collect them. Unlike Fly Mario over the Rainbow or the Acid Pond, I don't have a particular star that I would say is my least favorite. So I'm just gonna go over all the ones I hate. Firstly are the Prankster comets. These are more challenging versions of regular missions, adding a new obstacle. Speedy comets add a time limit. Fast foe comets increase the speed of enemies. Cosmic comets force Mario to complete a race with a shadowy clone of himself. Purple coin comets make the player collect 100 purple coins, and Daredevil comets leave the player with 1 HP, but shorten the stage to only the boss. Most aren't that bad, to be frank. Replaying this, I was surprised how many I got my first try. Except for one, Lava Spire Daredevil Run. Unlike other Daredevil comets, this is not against a boss. You instead have to complete the entire level without getting hit once. Which isn't easy considering this is probably one of the hardest regular missions too. As a kid, this took me days to get. This time though, I actually almost got it my first try. I came so close, but somehow accidentally fell into the lava. If someone lived next door to me, they'd probably think I was getting murdered when this happened. But I don't think I consider it the hardest. A lot of people think the Bouldergeist Daredevil challenge is the hardest, but I wouldn't rank it up there either. The trial galaxies come close. First off, to even unlock them, you have to collect 3 green stars found in secret areas. The stages themselves consist of annoying aspects. The motion control controlled ball, ray, or the damn bubble. Some of the purple coin missions are pretty bad. Basically, think about combining 8 red coin missions and 100 coin mission for Mario 64 Sunshine. It's tedious collecting every single one. Some are hard to find, not to mention how frustrating it is to die near completion, and have to do everything all over again. Out of all the purple coin missions, the hardest is the Dreadnought Galaxy one, because of how you can't go back to collect coins while on a moving platform. And if you missed one, it's back to the beginning. Even then, I still wouldn't consider it the hardest. In my opinion, the absolute hardest star of Mario Galaxy 1 is one I barely even remembered being all that bad, the Dreadnought Galaxy Secret Star. It doesn't sound so bad at first. All you have to do is play a minigame. Just throw the bombs and blow up some garbage. The problem is how little time you get, how hard it is to judge where to throw the bombs, and how I always seem to miss this tiny piece of garbage at the end. This star took me a whole hour to get, more than any other star in the game. I don't know if I just got lucky as a kid or what, because again, I remember Rolling Gizmo Galaxy, I remember the Daredevil Lava Star, I remember the Bubble ones, I remember all them being hard as hell, but somehow this one slipped my mind. Like I said before, as a kid, my first exposure to this game was from Chiga Conroy's Let's Play, and for a while I thought that Super Luigi Galaxy was its own game. Like, not just its own separate disc where it's Mario Galaxy but you get to play as Luigi, kind of like, I don't know, a Pokemon game or something. No. I thought that it was like an entirely different game, and Mario Galaxy was completely different than Luigi Galaxy. I was both a little disappointed, but also excited when I rented this game the first time at our local video store, and saw it was the same game I saw on YouTube. Excited because hey, I get to play what I saw Chuga playing, but disappointed because it meant there wasn't 3 whole Galaxy games, only 2. And if you're wondering about the whole video store thing, I'm not actually in my 30s. By the time I rented this game, it was like 2013, 14. Basically, the town I live in had terrible internet for a pretty long time, so our video rental store stayed open for way longer than most. It took until COVID for it to go under. Anyway, I didn't actually get my own copy of Galaxy for quite a few years, and I remember beating this and Galaxy 2 a number of times while renting them. Fond memories all around. Oh, and before I forget, we have to talk all about the black holes. Being space-themed, it makes sense why they'd be here, and they really do add to the atmosphere. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with black holes. Like, you cannot imagine how obsessed I was with them. So when I found out this game had them, I was ecstatic. The Mario universe really has a black hole problem though. I mean, they're everywhere. The radiation they emit alone has to be enough to sterilize all life from these planets. Dying from them is frankly disturbing too. You can see Mario getting ripped apart and spaghettified. Not that this game isn't full of other disturbing deaths. Like how if you die from electricity, all that remains of our plumbers are their skeletons. Again, way to traumatize a generation, Nintendo. Rosalina has a tragic backstory. It's pretty obvious she's human. Once upon a time, she lived on Earth, until one day when a Luma comes down to Earth in its spaceship. This Luma is looking for its mother. The two stay and wait for her, until they decide to search around the cosmos. They land on a strange star, containing starbits and furniture. They use it to build a house, that is now the observatory, while more Lumas come to join them. They all see her as their mama, but Rosalina misses hers. As you see, hers is dead, buried underneath a tree on Earth. It's not often you see a Mario game be this dark. Usually if there is a dark moment, it's something horror related, not a character's mom being dead, and then breaking down over it. Plus, this track always tugs at my heartstrings, almost as much as the mother-free love theme. Another major theme to this game's story are the Lumas becoming something someday. Some will become stars, or comets, but in doing so, they seem to lose their sentience and basically die. I feel that the Mario RPGs are overall darker, but man, does Galaxy feel depressing at times. I feel that Galaxy overall has the best story of any mainline Mario game, and it's something that makes it special. Well, there's only one thing left to do: defeat Bowser. With 60 Power Stars collected, Rosalina can take you to the center of the universe to face him once more. This final stage is tricky, with lots of annoying mechanics, especially this one part with the bullet bills, lava, and moving platforms, but that only makes it all the more epic. Bowser's goals have swelled, from taking over the Mushroom Kingdom to the whole frickin' universe. If Frieza couldn't, what makes you think you can, Bowser? Also, it's kind of weird that after Galaxy 2 gives up trying to conquer the universe, and just goes back to trying to conquer the world like nothing ever happened. Anyway, the final battle has 3 phases on different planets. Bowser breathes fire, ground pounds, creates shockwaves, and spins around. In the first phase, he rolls around in a stone. Spin while he's facing you to knock him out of it, then spin again to deal damage. Do this twice and it's on to phase 2. This time he does this shell attack. To counter it, hit him with these balloon bulb things. Attack him again, do it once more, and it's on to the third and final phase. This planet has these blue dots. The trick here is to stand on them, and then when Bowser does his super ground pound, he hits them, burning him. Then quickly spin, then attack again. Mario lands the final blow, defeating him for good. Or at least until next week when Bowser comes back to kidnap Peach again. But it's not over yet. Bowser's reactor goes haywire, going supernova, followed by a massive black hole. Just when it looks like everyone will meet certain death, the Lumas come together and realize what they must do to save them. One by one, they sacrifice themselves, stopping the black hole and saving everyone, but in doing so, giving up their lives. Rosalina appears before Mario, talking about this being the cycle of the universe. Stars live and die, and when they do, they birth new stars who go through this process too. Although, nothing ever repeats the exact same way. Everyone wakes up in the Mushroom Kingdom, and remembering what Rosalina said, Mario welcomes the new galaxy. The end.
Welcome! Welcome, new galaxy!
And that was Super Mario Galaxy. What else can be said about it, other than it being great? From the awesome soundtrack, to all the cool mechanics, all the gimmicky side levels, the great cinematic cutscenes, the unique control scheme, and the bite-sized missions. I had tons of fun replaying this, even more so since my expectations weren't as high as with the other games, or Ocarina of Time, or Pokemon Black 2 and White 2. Lately, I've been trying not to compare the fun I've had with a replay to the fun I had during my first playthrough, and just trying to enjoy myself as much as possible. I feel that I did well with Galaxy, so I hope that I can do it again in the future. I'd recommend Galaxy, if you either haven't played it yet, or haven't played it through in years. It did get a re-release on a Switch in Super Mario 3D All-Stars, although the Wii isn't all that expensive anyway. Anyway, if you liked the video, be sure to like, subscribe, comment below, and be sure to check out my other videos on Super Mario Sunshine and Luigi's Mansion, because if enough people like this video, I may consider covering its sequel in the future, Super Mario Galaxy 2. As for now, however, I'm not making any promises because it always seems like the minute I want to follow a video up on something, I become tired of it all of a sudden for some reason. Plus, I still have a lot of promised videos that I haven't fulfilled yet, like Luigi's Mansion 3DS, or Pokemon Sun and Moon, or of the countless random games people have requested through comments that I don't even remember. Your support does go a really long way though, so I appreciate everyone who's watched this video long enough to hear me say this. Let's all try to get 2025 off on a good start, and until next time.